This is Northwest Arkansas, the birthplace of Walmart and the gateway to the Ozarks, which you've probably heard of because of that Netflix show.
You owe me a job.
What?
But for the most part, this little corner of the country is off the radar for today's legions of remote workers who are itching to bounce from their high-priced, high-density confines in cities like San Francisco and New York. But here they all are.
What? Are you serious?
Dog, fantastic.
Getting a Zoom call saying that they've been selected
I feel like I won the lottery.
to help put Northwest Arkansas on the map.
How soon do you think you could relocate here?
Wow, okay.
Among the many incentivized relocation programs attracting remote workers since the pandemic, this one in Northwest Arkansas offers $10,000 to those who move to the area and stay for at least a year. We're talking about cities like Bentonville, Rogers, and Fayetteville.
I did see that Fayetteville was also top places for singles to meet people.
They'll even throw in a mountain bike.
Geez, $10,000 and a bike.
After receiving more than 24,000 applications, the program called their first 25 winners just a few weeks ago.
I wasn't expecting you to tell me, so now I gotta.
Oh goodness, I'm definitely gonna call my mom.
It's probably not a huge shock that hundreds of applicants came from the pricey tech hub of the Bay Area. And that includes the Portillo family. Josue, his wife Athena, who both work for tech companies, and their 3 kids.
Thank God, I was looking for a sign,
I was surprised, and just full of joy. Me and my wife have been talking about trying to get a new home for our family.
Our living situation in San Jose is very, very compact. It's a 2-bedroom, so all of us are in that little condo.
Before the pandemic, Josue commuted 4 hours a day from San Jose for his job in San Francisco, leaving just a few precious hours left to spend with his kids at night in their 800-square-foot home. But even though he was able to work from home this past year, the Portillos still dreamt of owning a big house, the kind they still can't afford in the Bay Area. But now, with their $10,000 grant and the blessing of Josue's employer, the Portillos, which includes Josue's parents, say they'll be heading to the Ozark Mountains in a few months, where an average home costs less than $270,000. 70% cheaper than San Jose.
When we went to go visit Arkansas, it felt like a different country. It just felt like a secret place that we found, like a gem.
The Portillos are among the growing numbers of remote tech workers fleeing the broader Bay Area, and especially San Francisco. In fact, nearly 40% more people moved out of San Francisco during the pandemic months compared to the same period a year earlier, the largest increase of any major city in the country, according to data from moving company Updater. Most moved within California, but these states were also top destinations, while cities like Austin, Denver, and Seattle are enticing Bay Area tech employees more than ever before. This comes as some of the biggest tech companies like Twitter, Facebook, and Salesforce, San Francisco's largest private employer, have all announced more permanent remote work options.
I just never had given a thought to Arkansas.
But if smaller, less-known places like Northwest Arkansas want to compete for these remote workers, they have to sweeten the deal, with cash and tax incentives in the tens of thousands.
This is going to be amazing.
Like Tulsa, Oklahoma did. Though its $10,000 grants launched in 2018, the program saw a dramatic rise in applicants since the pandemic. It now has more than 500 participants living and working in Tulsa. A newer program called Choose Topeka pays up to $15,000 and has brought in 30 workers in just over a year.
Right out of the gate, it exploded. So, we had over 3,500 applications within the first 30 days globally.
Bob Ross runs the Topeka program.
It really exposed a tremendous, pent-up demand for people looking for something new and a fresh start, and they saw Topeka as a possibility for that.
Having won a $10,000 grant from Topeka, Tyler Jaggers moved out of the Bay Area and bought a $47,000 house in Topeka that he's fixing up.
I was already thinking about moving pre-COVID, and then once COVID kicked in, coupled with things such as myself, I was living next to a fire evacuation zone.
As an indie video game developer, who often dresses up for all the networking events in town, Tyler hopes it will be easier to grow his company with the lower cost of living.
It's a nice little sleepy town. It's not like bustling. There's not a ton of traffic. If you need a park, there's a spot. You got a big truck, there's a spot. Got a small car, enjoy, So it was just great fun.
Ross sees remote workers like Tyler as an investment, one that will pay off.
What we found is that $10,000 in remote incentives translates into $50,000 of economic impact in just 1 year. And then you add in just the soft benefits of, the intellectual and, cultural impact that they'll be making. It's $10,000 very well spent.
But skeptics of these relocation programs say the pandemic won't last forever. And then what? San Francisco Supervisor Matt Haney believes the Bay Area will always be the home of innovators and entrepreneurs.
The tech industry has had such a strong ecosystem here that for people who want to network, who are starting businesses and want to recruit folks, engineers, a lot of that is concentrated here in the Bay Area.
And even if these relocated tech workers don't return, that doesn't mean a new wave of talent won't take their place.
It may not be the same companies. It may not be the same people. Before the pandemic, only the biggest, richest companies could even secure office space here. And that may change, which I think could create a renaissance for startups who want to be in San Francisco.
The Portillos say they don't expect to return to the Bay Area.
I think the only way we would come back is the cost of living goes down. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
But the family says a fresh start couldn't have come at a better time. Several weeks ago, the entire family contracted COVID. Josue's father was on a ventilator, and they weren't sure he was going to make it.
When he finally came home, it was a miracle. The doctors say it was a miracle. And then a few days later, we got the grant. It just felt like it's that saying, it's always darkest before the dawn.
Josue's father is expected to make a full recovery. And now, with some extra cash and the promise of finding affordable property, Josue can live close to his parents and look after them.
Some sort of acre lot, maybe even placing their house and my house next to it, having a little ranch. Yeah.